You're studying science for GCSEs. As I'm sure all of you are, you may need to know fractional distillation. Today I'm describing it on a foundation level, which you can use this knowledge to use it always on the almost on the separate science level. So, crude oil recap. Crude oil is just taken from the ground. It's made out of hydrocarbons. You won't really need to know things about crude oil in this question. You will need to know about cracking, so I suggest you go and watch my video on cracking, which I'll put in a corner or something maybe if I remember. If I don't, then go to my channel, go to the science GCSE thing. Yeah. On my channel, there's a playlist for science. It's the first video on there. Go to that if I don't put the thing in the corner. Now, anyway, yeah, you may need to know about cracking. Hydrocarbon stuff. The smaller the hydrocarbon, the less energy it requires for them to be turned into gas. Not only that, they have a lower boiling point than the longer chains of hydrocarbons. Now, fractional distillation. It's what you've clicked on this video for. It's pretty simple kind of steps. And I'm going to summarise this. Outside the fractioning column, crude oil is heated to a correct temperature. So it's heated to a temperature that can be placed into the fractional column. It is then pumped into the column whilst in vapour form, because that's what the heating does outside the column. It makes it go into a vapour form. The column. As you go further up the column, it gets cooler. So, for the shorter hydrocarbons, they will get right to the top. It always gets turned back into a liquid form and collected on these things called bubble caps, which slows down the vapour, and eventually in the bubble caps it's cooled down and collected as liquid in the trays. Hopefully I'm explaining that right. Now, levels. Like I said, each tier can be separated into different levels. Petrol and naphtha, which are used for chemicals and stuff, that's at the top. So that's where the short chains go. That's the cold crude oil. That's where it goes and gets turned into things like petrol, naphtha. Diesel is at the bottom, the lowest level, or should I say the highest level, where it needs the highest temperature to be created. Here's a question leak from AQA that's going to be on this year's exam. So if you remember how to answer this, you'll be fine. Fractional distillation is only useful when done with longer chains of hydrocarbons. Explain why this is false. Dr. Edward Jerd says that. He's probably a scientist or something. Now, answer this question of your own accord, and I'll show you. All right answer, maybe 3 or 4 marks out of 4. Short chains of hydrocarbons have many uses, as they can be used in fractional distillation to create petrol, naphtha, and at extremely low levels, gas. This is great as it allows for condensing of vapour to create the products. Whilst longer chains of hydrocarbons can create useful products, cracking is required to make crude oil useful. So if you want properly useful products, you're going to need smaller chains, and cracking creates smaller chains of hydrocarbons called alkenes. So, that's it. See you guys in the next episode. Extremely short, snappy summary.